Good morning. The Wine Village is very privileged this morning to share with you a few very interesting facts. Out of all mammals in the world, I think our southern right baleen whale has most probably got the longest tooth. And goodness gracious, I'm glad I'm not a dentist. I'm standing about 2.4 meters in my socks. Sorry, 2.04. And this is now touching my toes. And it's what? One hell of a big mouth, eh? Southern right is the biggest and the most well-known fact about Hermanus. Now, if you don't know where Hermanus is lying in Walker Bay. If you don't know where Walker Bay is, I think the most important fact that you must know is that the Hemelanaarde Valley is the wine foundation of the Walker Bay area. Gorgeous, sumptuous wines, cold. I like the terminology to say it's a sea climate. These guys talk about maritime. Damn it, man, it's sea. We just love it. Today I'm sharing with you a couple of wines that has been over the last 2-3 weeks proclaimed around the world as some of the best that we've ever made. And I am proud. I'm very proud of the Southern Right brand. Hannes Storm and John Montgomery from the Southern Right farm have really pulled together. John in the vineyards and Hannes in the cellar, and over the last couple of years they've formed an alliance that there's nothing as good. The first wine will be the Sauvignon Blanc. And you know, we find so frequently South African Sauvignon Blancs to be either on the sweet side, or you'll find it to be too much gooseberries, or too much of the cut grass, or too much of this or too much of that. In this, we've got a gorgeous, great, intensive wine. On the nose, you pick up immediately that long, lingering minerality. Now, normally we only taste minerality on the palate. On the Southern Right Sauvignon Blanc, you have it as the backbone of this wine. And yes, it does tell it on the nose. I pick up that gorgeous, freshly cut straw, not necessarily cut grass, more a straw feel. It's more intense. It's a more subtle feel. There's at the end, there's a slow lingering of a little bit of green pepper. I just love it. It's good. Anthony once said that you make wine to be appreciated. With this mouthfeel that I have, the long, intense, lingering flavors in my mouth, I can only imagine two things. You either sit down on the rocks, you have this gorgeous whole wheat sandwich with smoked salmon and rockadon and black pepper grindings, or you sit down in a good restaurant like the Glass Room, and you sit down and you have a nice grilled kinkler. I can imagine a piece of swordfish. If you don't know what a galjoen is, you better find out. But a galjoen grilled on the coals with a bit of Southern Right Sauvignon Blanc would be the ultimate. Well done, guys. It's a great wine. I'm going to step forward now to the Pinotage. But before I get there, you might ask, what are these? These are wines that Anthony Hamilton Russell, the co-owner of Southern Right, planned and executed. And 6 years later it was released. It is the 2004 Southern Right Sauvignon Blanc. And in this case, they made a decision to take 500 bottles of wine and put it in the sea. The wines were stored in 2 stainless steel cages, and it was sent down to 9 meters below surface. And after 2 years, they were taken out, and this was the result. Beautiful, sea-like, gorgeous, thorny, scratchy. Now, if you had the opportunity to taste this 6-year-old wine, of which 2 years was spent underwater, you would be able to understand and appreciate the intensity of the Sunrise Sauvignon Blancs. It was absolute miraculous. The wines were intense, long lingering, beautiful bottle matured, and still to be enjoyed today. On the Pinotage side, we have a wine that has just been proclaimed as one of the best single cultivars in the world. And I think the guys can be very proud of themselves. Again, Johann Montgomery in the vineyards have picked the grapes at the perfect bully. They selected each little bunch of grapes to get rid of all grapes that is not 100%. Hannes on the other side had the privilege to work with grapes that is perfect, clean, no problems, no infections, nothing. There was not even a bird pick. So all he had to do is to make a gorgeous wine. And yes, it's fantastic. On the nose, I can clearly pick up that little bit of Bordeaux grapes that they've put in. From what I understand, there's a little bit of Malbec in, there's a little bit of Petit Verdot and a bit of Cab Franc. Very little, but it does give an immense amount of roundness and big and boldness to the wine. On the nose, you pick up that classic feel of the mother of Pinotage, which was Pinot Noir. A little bit of strawberry, and there's a bit of cherry, a nice dark, nearly black cherry flavors, and then there's a subtle spiciness to it. I feel that the Sunrise Pinotage is slap bang in the middle between your fat New World styles and your more delicate Burgundian wines. I can only imagine sitting down and having a piece of beef Wellington or a nice rump steak with a well-prepared chasseur sauce over it. On the other hand, if you sit down and you had a good meal and somebody presents you with a Klein Rivier Gruyere cheese, a well-matured 6, 7, 8 month Klein Rivier Gruyere, and you just sit and relax and have the last of your meal, it's heaven. It's heaven on earth. Himmel en aarde. The wine is absolutely perfectly balanced. There's nothing that stands one side. There's nothing that blocks. There's nothing that is whatsoever problematic. There's a good acid on the wine. The tannins are subtle. It is round. The fruit expression is beautiful. I can pick up some nice canned red cherries. It's just a well-balanced, beautiful wine. The fact that it is Pinotage is fantastic. South Africa's own grape. I just want to say before I leave, at 175 Rand, I don't think that we have a more balanced Pinotage on our shelves. And just by the way, Wine Village has about 80 different South African Pinotages. So if I proclaim this to be one of the best, you can be for sure that I'm bragging about something local. I'm leaving for the Absa Cape Epic, and I will only be back in 10 days' time. So until we see each other again, all the best on right. Thank you very much. Goodbye.